Amend the Mass Media Group is California Capital's premier YouTube channel focused on reparations, dedicated to political advocacy and apologetically aimed at shining a spotlight on our righteous justice claim for reparations.
It's just probably too hard to talk about, and so it's and going through this case. But I think that every person should see this, and I'll say one thing that I didn't get to say, and I mean this with all candor and vigor. Um, it would be so much easier if I could say all cops were bad, but most of those cops out there showed a hell of a lot of restraint by not pulling that trigger. When they think they got this guy's running around telling everybody I'm a meth head, and I've done this and I've been running through traffic and all this stuff. What are they to think? So I think those guys showed a lot of restraint. Don't get me wrong, and I don't want to make excuses for anybody, but this process would be a whole lot better, easier, not better, easier for me if I could just say all cops were bad, all those cops were bad. But the truth is, I think that weekend before that, I met probably like 99 probably cops just driving, L.A., I was to Reno, to Sacramento, up to Mendocino, San Francisco, Oakland. I was even in, Vallejo area and Walnut Creek area. And I'll tell you, the majority of 97 out of 100 cops were decent people, or at least doing their jobs in a decent way. You know what I mean? But it's these little incidents with this cop when the whole system tries to come in and make sure that he's okay, but the citizen is not. And that's my problem. Because even the two officers that are kind of trying to say something for him or try to come to his aid a little bit, I'm sure they're probably pretty close on the force, and that's one of those things where hey man, I'm going through this, I got your back later, you gotta look out for me on this one, and they owe me a chip now. They owe me a chip in the old cop bribe bag, I guess, for the next time. But
So you're saying that the one officer that you keep referring to was the aggressor?
Officer David LaRock was the chief officer to instigate this whole thing.
Is he the one that called you the N-word?
Indeed.
And you brought out a book to show us.
Yeah, I did. Did you see it? I thought I showed you guys, but yeah, I was reading this, and it might have triggered him because it was in the car, and it is the book by Dick Gregory, and I don't know if that was triggering to him, but I know I've seen some other white people who've seen this book, and it does kind of trigger people sometimes. But it's a good book, so there it is for all you guys. You should read it. It's a great book, actually. It's a great book. But I mean, ultimately, they treated me like I was any old out there that day, and I just won't have it because I wasn't raised like that. You know, I was raised in a good household. I was raised with good parents. I was raised that taught me how to go about things and do things. But I'm also raised to love my people and to be with my people. And, you know, the two go hand in hand. You know, I think me and Kim were talking about earlier about we never have any family picnics anymore and things like that. You know, that's how I was raised. You know, and so you know, I have respect for people who put on the badge and do the job, but I don't have respect for that man. You know, I just don't. You know, and he's sitting there giggling and laughing in court, perjuring himself. You know, I need to get you the transcript because the transcript of what he said in court doesn't match up with anything in that report. And so, like I said, man, I just, you know, I appreciate you guys for coming out, you know, and I hope more media will come. And maybe if you get a chance, go interview him, see what he has to say. Now, that would be great. I'd love to see that. I would love to see that interview, you know, and see if he can be as candid and see if he's as open as a book as I was with you. And let's find out, you know. Yeah. So my next court appearance would be, you know, they keep on pressing this thing over. Like I said, they didn't charge me till the year statute of limitations had gone up in the first place. They told the judge that, you know, they had waited on the toxicology report, which is, you know, that toxicology report was out 5 days after that. So that was a mistruth that they spoke to the judge in the judge's chambers. But I'd say, man, it's been, you know, 2021. It's been almost 3 years completely now, you know, since the incident. It's been almost 3 years now.
So, but what's coming up on
September 11th?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be my next court date. Yeah, and you know, that's what I mean. They just keep on moving it. So I don't know if I really have a court date that day. You know, you came down there to actually see a court date. But what ended up happening was what? We sat in there for what? 3-4 hours and just waited, and then they told us, hey, come back September 11th. So, you know, I mean, and then we'll see on September 11th if we actually get something done, you know. Well, you can reach me at threefifthsrepublic.com, THREEFIFTHSREPUBLIC.com. My business line phone number is on there. And, you know, I really at Coagulate on Twitter, Royal Bloodline. And that's, you know, pretty much it, you know, for now. But they can always reach out to Mr. Umoye or Miss Kim, and they have my contact information, and I would love to hear from anybody else. But yeah, just threefifthsrepublic.com, THREEFIFTHSREPUBLIC.com, and you can get all my information from there. But, you know, it's that's probably the best place to get, you know, and read about my story, read about what I'm trying to do, read about the theory of black cohesion, and, you know, even find some information on my mother, music, other things. So I appreciate you for doing this interview with me, and I thank you guys.
I have one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.